Our newspaper headlines this morning, we'll be taking a look at the Punch newspaper, Vanguard newspaper. We also have the Explainer. All right, beginning with the Vanguard, beginning with the Punch newspaper. Natasha heads to court after Senate blockade faults Akpabio. The suspended senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District, Natasha Moti Udwanga, has vowed to drag the leadership of the Senate before the appellate court after she was barred from accessing the National Assembly complex on Tuesday. A fuming Moti Udwanga told journalists that she would consult her legal team immediately to kickstart the process, stressing that it was a violation of the recent judgment calling for her reinstatement. 5 arraigned for illegal waste dumping in Lagos. No fewer than 5 individuals have been arraigned before a mobile court in the Bolade area of Oshodi, Lagos State, for allegedly dumping refuse in prohibited areas. The paper gathered that on Tuesday that the suspects were arrested by operatives of the enforcement team of the Lagos Waste Management Authority. They were allegedly caught dumping refuse along the median at Agor Palace Way in the Okota area of the state. Moving on to the Vanguard newspaper, reps warn of diplomatic rift over U.S. 3-month visa policy. The House of Representatives on Tuesday faulted the United States government's decision to limit non-immigrant visas for Nigerian citizens to a 3-month single entry permit. The lawmakers warned that the move could damage bilateral relations and disrupt the lives of millions of Nigerians. Reps moved to ban politicians from patronizing private hospitals, schools. The House of Representatives on Tuesday passed for first reading a controversial bill seeking to ban public and civil servants, including their families, from using private schools and healthcare services. The proposed legislation, sponsored by a member representing Isiokwato Umuniochi Federal Constituency of Abia State, aims to compel government workers to rely on public institutions for education and medical care. PSC NDLEA partner on drug integrity tests for police recruits. Chairman of the Police Service Commission, PSC, DIG Hashimu Argungu, retired, has sought the support of the Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, in conducting drug integrity tests for police recruits. Argungu, who made the request when he led a delegation of PSC management on a courtesy visit to Marwa in Abuja, said the appeal was to ensure that those with the right frame of mind eventually make it out of the police training colleges across the Federation. 210 trillion naira scandal. Senate accuses NNPCL GCEO of defiance, gives 24-hour ultimatum. Tensions rose at the National Assembly yesterday as the Senate Committee on Public Accounts issued a 24-hour ultimatum to the Group Chief Executive Officer, GCEO, of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Bashir Ojulari, after he failed to appear before the Senate for the 4th time in 2 months. Ojulari, who is under scrutiny over 210 trillion naira in financial discrepancies in NNPCL's audited accounts from 2017 to 2023, has consistently avoided direct engagement with the Senate, raising what lawmakers now describe as a deliberate campaign of evasion and disdain for democratic oversight. FG fears acute protein deficit as farmers-herders conflicts persist. Special Advisor to the President on National Coordination of the Special Advisor to the President and National Coordinator of the Presidential Livestock Reform, Professor Atahiru Jega, has warned that Nigeria risks acute protein deficits, heightened food insecurity as the country's 30 trillion naira worth sector is threatened by violent farmers-herders crisis and poor investments in the sector. He stated this at the 2025 edition of the Blueprint newspaper annual impact series and awards ceremony yesterday in Abuja. Painting a bleak future for Nigeria's food security and health sector, the former INEC chairman said urgent closure of investment gaps and efficient policy coordination, among others, were the solution. Rebased GDP doesn't fill empty stomach, ADC tells Tinubu. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, has strongly criticized the Tinubu administration's celebration of Nigeria's recently rebased gross domestic product, GDP, describing the move as economic cosmetics and a deliberate attempt to mask deep-rooted economic failures with superficial statistics. In a press statement released on Monday by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, the ADC accused the federal government of engaging in a misleading public relations campaign that presents statistical recalibrations as genuine economic progress, while everyday Nigerians grapple with rising poverty, inflation, and infrastructural decay. Freight forwarders petition minister demand disclosure of POF revenue. The Africa Association of Professional Freight Forwarders and Logistics of Nigeria, AFLON, has petitioned the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, demanding a full disclosure of all revenues collected under the practitioner's operating fee till date. The group, in a letter dated July 18, 2025, and signed by its president, Frank Ogwojemite, raised concerns over the lack of transparency and accountability in the management of the POF, a mandatory fee levied on freight forwarders. Experts urge Africa to rethink U.S. trade ties amid tariff row. Trade and economic policy experts have called on African governments to urgently implement the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfTA, and reduce reliance on U.S. aid and trade to withstand the disruptive policies proposed by President Donald Trump. They warned that continued overdependence on Western economies will continue to deepen vulnerabilities across the continent. I'll take the last one from the explainer. FG to establish National Development Agency to power innovations. The federal government on Monday in Abuja disclosed plans to establish a National Design and Development Agency to help innovators refine their concepts, secure funding, and access markets. Disclosing the move when he visited Innovate Hub, Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa said the proposed agency would serve as a bridge between local innovation and commercial success, emphasizing President Bola Tinubu's administration's commitment to creating an enabling environment for innovation through investments in human capital and entrepreneurship. Well, that's it. You can pick up a copy of any of the dailies if you would like to read more. Also, interact with us via our social media platforms: X, Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961, on Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Traffic Radio 961, and follow me across social media at Dele Agadumo.